Hello and welcome again. My name is Andreas Kern from Berlin and I'm happy to present to you the Classical Next Innovation Awardees 2021. The aim of this Innovation Award is to bring more attention to creative and innovative art music projects around the world. And this year with a special focus on projects creating new ways of presenting art music in the pandemic. And one of the Classical Next Innovation Awards 2021 goes to one-to-one concerts from Germany. So it seems to be a very, very attractive and interesting initiative. But what is it, one-to-one concerts? I mean, I'm very curious to learn more about this project. I hope you too. I have 3 guests here from the one-to-one concerts, so maybe 1, 2, 3. Come on and join me. Hello! First of all, congratulations. Not only for your initiative, but of course also to receiving the Classical Next Innovation Award 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We were super happy to receive the prize from you because the Classical Next was actually an institution that we have been admiring for quite some time. So this prize really means something to us.
Would you be able to briefly introduce yourself for our listeners here and for the audience?
So I'm Franziska and I'm the scenographer.
I'm Christian and I'm the master of emotions.
And I'm Steffi, I'm a flute player. Together we create a chamber music festival in Thuringia where this concert format actually came to life.
Scenographic, can you tell us a little bit more before we come to the emotions?
Well, I could also say I'm the master of space and design.
Okay, so you create this...
Creating the spaces and thinking about how we can communicate via space, but also emotionally happen. And the space is quite important, the venues and the design of the venues.
But then there's nothing left for Christian. I mean, when the emotions are already done by the space.
There is quite a lot left actually, because my responsibility is that, as I said before, of the emotions and taking listeners to the concert, and also the role of the host, which is an important part in our format. So everything that has to do with building, with creating emotions and people between that and music, that would be my role in one-to-one concerts.
Role of the host, Stephanie. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about this project. What is it exactly, one-to-one concerts?
One-to-one concert is an encounter between one listener and one musician in a special space that could be anywhere. The more absurd in combination with classical music, the stronger the effect can be. What happens exactly is you as a listener might book a date online, say 5:15 at the Schiller Fountain in some park, and our host will meet you there and tell you exactly what you're in for. You'll be experiencing art just for you in complete silence. You may not applaud, but you can express your emotions afterwards or non-verbally. First of all, you will look into your artist's eye very intensely, very openly. If this becomes too much for you at any point, you may look a little bit away, but we invite you to join the eye contact because it's very enriching for your counterpart, who will then embark on playing music or reading a piece or dancing for you, just for you, for 10 minutes. And afterwards you part. You will not know what expects you, whether it will be a saxophone player, a classical ballet dancer, or a hip hop artist. Anything is possible.
So the host is coming from your association.
We are actually like agents connecting people. As a host, you can ask, how can I join the family and also initiate one-to-one concerts or performances? And then we might say, yes, why don't you try this and that music group or this and that venue? So we help connecting places to people, to artists.
Does that happen that you think, okay, we have to cancel a one-to-one concert because we just have this musician now available and it doesn't fit to the venue?
Well, honestly, yeah, it takes a lot of precise preparation for that. And sometimes it feels a bit like that we are kind of a dating app. Or I'd like to think of us like a dating app, because what we do is we match them. We match space and musicians, and of course, like the organizers in every city, and they take care of like choosing the right instrument for the right space or venue. And even if it's not allowed, sometimes we also deal with the right guests to the right venue or the right musicians. But this is incognito, behind the scene. This is our little joy. But
Christian, when you said like the host also needs to be very empathetic, I mean, because this is the introduction into this special experience. And of course, you need to find these people who can give this atmosphere immediately to the guest.
Well, absolutely. Empathy is one of the most important aspects, actually. That's you put it pretty well there. And actually, there is no standard preparation for our listeners. Every host will try to find a very individual way of welcoming, of introducing every listener in a very unique way, because some listeners will arrive with a nervous state of mind. Others will be really cool because they've done this like many times. And so empathy, the thing that you're saying is really, really important. Also the empathy though between the host and the musician, that they work together, is also a very important thing, because the whole experience, it starts with the host, it ends with the host, and in the middle of it, in the middle of this performance, you have the core, you have the music. So we like to think of the whole of a one-to-one concert as a flow of emotions where there is no point where the listener might have to decide something or might be unsure. So, and this is really important. So this is how this whole bubble of the performance actually works. Without empathy, one-to-one concerts would lose their magic, I think.
The performance is 10 minutes. Why 10 minutes, Stephanie?
Well, when we created it, we kind of kidnapped people out of a running festival just for this little experience and surprise. And when we tested it, we got the experience that it was enough to have the quality of the impact didn't really grow with the length of the experience, because we really go for the intensity of the moment. And so 10 minutes also gives, actually what we do is crazy if you think of Betreuungsschlüssel, if you think of how many people for how many recipients. And so to take into account that just the tiniest bit, we know that we don't think along these lines and we do not make sense in an economical point of view, but just to see how many people can be can experience this within a certain amount of time. 10 minutes seemed a good span for us.
Here I have to say, like, everyone should go to one-to-one concerts and just experience it, because we are talking about this now. This is nice theoretically and everyone can imagine, but it's really different when you really experience it. So I can only invite you to go to one-to-one concerts and to watch as many and to listen as many as you can. For you, how was it your most emotional experience and why?
I was in a one-to-one concert myself, and actually, despite the briefing that a host gave to me, I sat there judging a double bass player actually all the time. And so this was better, and this was worse, and so on and so forth. And so the one-to-one concert was not a big blast in that situation, because I was so busy judging all the time. And then 1 hour afterwards, tears were running down my cheeks, because I had this epiphany. I thought, this person was playing, or this musician was playing just for me, for nobody else, took his time, and played for me and didn't even get a salary out of it. So what this person did, what this musician did, he took this from deep down of his heart and gave this concert to me as a present, and that touched me so much. Yeah, I was really overwhelmed. So this was actually, to me, one of the emotionally most challenging situations, actually.
I have to say, I have the journey of my life in the last year.
Wow. Yeah.
At the same time, it was the hard lockdown, sitting at home. But like for me personally, that was it saved my life, kind of being inspired, being in a positive, resonating time.
We are now part of this network of wonderful people who all share a similar view of the world or share similar hopes for the world, which I think is part of the source of this extreme happiness.
I mean, now you also won this award in the times of pandemic. Do you think that this project is really something which lasts for the next, 50 years?
It's meant to be the smallest format ever. And only through the pandemic, it kind of came to that it started to travel, to be a mobile format around the world. So kind of the pandemic, of course, helped to boost the project in the format, and we wouldn't be here. And that's what we have to say if there wasn't the lockdown last year, of course. But still, we tried to get the project onto a new point, not to be a pandemic project or format, but helping people to get energy out of this, or being a festival format, which is great. So you could always add this one-to-one format to other concert formats. So we're trying to find new ways of developing the project now.
It can be a transformation for many different things. And so, we'd love to experiment with many other things. So this is by far not the end of it.
Thank you so much for these wonderful stories and to let us know much more about one-to-one concerts. And congratulations again to the classicalnext Innovation Award 2021. And of course, I want to give you, but online, the Innovation Award classicalnext.
Thank you.
And there is also a certificate. It's about that you plant now. I mean, we plant for you. We plant a tree, a one-to-one tree. And of course, we hope to see you next year in Hanover. Thank you so much for your time and especially for this wonderful project. Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you.
And these were the lovely guys and creators of the one-to-one concerts here from Germany. And actually, I learned a lot about this project. And I think maybe even I would join this family and play a one-to-one concert as a pianist. But now I'm curious about the other awardees of the classicalnext Innovation Award 2021. You too. So see you in the next interviews. Bye bye.